Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the brand new record from Legion of the Damned, Slaves of the Shadow Realm, out January 4th on Napalm Records. This album has 11 tracks and it's 46 minutes in length. Now, for those of you that are fans of this band, you know as well as I do that it's been 5 long years since they released The Ravenous Plague. And for the fans, it's been a long 5-year period. The wait is over, the new album is around the corner, and this is an old school death thrash metal album, if you will, and I'm gonna really emphasize this point, with really heavy black metal influences in it. There's a lot of sprinkles of black metal on this record. I would say predominantly it's a death metal album with some key guitar components that have a very traditional thrash metal sound, but overall it is a death metal album with thrash metal components with sprinkles of black metal. Really a combination of the three, with the pendulum on some songs going more towards one than the other. The album overall has a very specific sound, has a very specific characteristics to it. I would label it as an album that sounds dated. And what I mean by that is, this record really feels and sounds like something that would come out in the late 80s, early 90s metal scene. It doesn't sound like something that was put together now. It seems like something that came out of that generation, of that era. To me, that is cool because it allows the listener to kind of relive that era if you had a chance to grow up in that same era. If you didn't grow up in that era, it allows you to get a feel for what that era of metal was like, what the sound was like, what the nuances were like, how the songs were put together, what kind of song structures were used. So to me, this album has a lot to offer from that perspective. It really has a very unique sound. It has a lot of unique characteristics to it. And when you put all of these things together, it creates an album that's very pleasurable to listen to. Now, there are two key components of this record from a positive perspective that I really need to bring up. I just feel like these two components are perhaps the two most dynamic components on the record and the two that really represent the album the best. To me, one of them is the guitar sound, the guitar work, and the other is the vocals. I'll start with the guitar sound. I really like the sound of the guitars on this record. I like what they did with the guitars. I like how the guitars really were able to have an influence of all three genres depending on what the mood of the song was, depending on what the style of the song was. So this allowed for the record to have life, to be dynamic, to have a very wide structure as far as the guitars are concerned. I like the sound, I like the way the guitars sound, I like the dated sound in them. I like almost, and I'm really gonna call this, because it's something that I consider this kind of sound dirty. I like this dirty guitar riffs that this album has. It just feels unpolished, but unpolished for a reason. It's there to create a certain ambiance, to create a certain dynamic to the songs, to give the songs perhaps a little bit more of harshness and heaviness. I really like that. I really like that unpolished feel to it because it really represents the style of songs that they put together on this record much better than if it was a very clean-cut, polished guitar sound. So I really like it from that perspective because to me, it enhanced the listening experience. Not only enhanced the listening experience, it really went hand in hand with the vocal delivery on the record. I really like the vocals on this album. They really are the perfect complement to the guitar sound. The two components go perfectly together, go hand in hand to create a very dynamic record. The two just merge so well together and they feel like they're feeding off of each other. That the guitar sound is just the perfect soundtrack to how the vocals are coming across on the album. Really like both components, really like the record from that perspective. One thing I will say about this record as well is that it has a lot of catchy choruses, that it has a lot of hooky melodies in the chorus. This album, you can go from song 1 to song 11. You're gonna find so many songs that have really cool dynamics around the chorus. The chorus are almost, the songs are built around the choruses and they really emphasize how hooky and how melodic the choruses are. That to me was another incredible positive from this record. Now, there is one thing that I didn't enjoy about the record. Not that I didn't enjoy, I just felt that it wasn't necessary to have it. In some tracks, there is a little bit of a vinyl popping and cracking that was very traditional. It is still traditional with vinyl. When you pop in a vinyl, sometimes you hear a little bit of the scratches, a little bit of the pops. So they added that on a few tracks to almost give a feel to the listener that somebody was putting on a vinyl and you're listening to someone while someone else listened to the band on vinyl. That's the atmosphere that it creates. I understand why it was done and the reasons behind it. I can wrap my head around it. I can understand it. I just don't feel like it was needed. I didn't feel like it really added anything to the listening experience. It didn't add anything extra to the song. It didn't really create anything unique. To me, the album itself, the sound, the lyrics, the vocals, everything about this record already sounds dated and throwback to that late 80s, early 90s era. You don't need vinyl popping and cracking in order to get that feel or to enhance that feel. To me, it's not a negative, but it was something that it was there and I didn't feel like it was necessary. Now, as far as favorite songs are concerned, I picked 3 songs that I believe offer a little bit of something different. Perhaps something unique in each one of them. I'm going to start with Shadow Realm of the Demonic Mind. I love the piano start on this song. This is the only song on the record that you get that beautiful piano keyboard melody at the start. Very ominous, very dark and somber, but at the same time extremely, extremely beautiful. I really like that. That is what captivated me to this song. As soon as that melody is over, the guitars come in, really heavy, really aggressive. This song is very aggressive. You can never tell how demonic, no pun intended, how demonic this song is with that keyboard start. That keyboard start really throws you for a loop because you're expecting almost more of a doom, black metal song, and that's not where the song goes. The song becomes almost more of a thrash metal song, if you will. So I really like what they did with this song. I really like the dynamics that they created with this song. I like the sound of the guitar. I like that thrash metal vibe that the song has. To me, the key component of this song was that keyboard start, that piano start. Really threw me for a loop as a listener. It really didn't know. I didn't know where they were going. It's the only song on the record that has something like this. Very different from everything else on the record. Very unique, but it was so good. I love the start. I love what they did after by coming with guitars and drums. Very aggressive song, very heavy. So I really like that dynamic that they created between a beautiful melody and then the heaviness that the song has afterwards. Another song that I want to talk to you guys about is Warhounds of Hates. I love this song. This song has a faster tempo to it. It has a much quicker pace, if you will. And it all culminates into the chorus. Another song, like I mentioned before, this album has great choruses, great hooky and catchy choruses. This is another song that has one of those hooky and catchy choruses with great melodies around it. And this song, they created almost an echo effect in the chorus. So when the chorus is being sung, it almost sounds like there's an echo chamber and the voice is repeating itself. I really like that because it added atmosphere to the song. It added a sense of darkness. It added almost a feel, a black metal vibe to the song. It just gave this whole complete ominous vibe that if you didn't add that component in the chorus, I don't think you would get that atmosphere out of this song. The song has a lot of other cool things going for it, but that echo in the chorus is really what brings this song together. It's really what gives it life, and it's what creates a really cool dynamic atmosphere around the song. When you add that to the very hooky, catchy chorus that the song has, you have a song that's almost impossible for you not to remember once you listen to it once or twice. It's just very contagious, very hooky. My favorite song on the record, hands down, it's Slaves of the Southern Cross. This is an incredible badass song. Great guitar sound. This song to me has an incredible guitar sound riff to it. Very melodic at times, heavy in other spots. Just very dynamic, very beautiful, very methodic. It alternates faster tempos with slower tempos, with more methodic riffs, with heavier riffs, with faster guitar playing. It just gives you, from a guitar perspective, this song really gives you a lot of life and dynamic. There's a lot of dynamic components to it. So I really like what they did with this song. It's my favorite song on the record. I love the guitars, and I love how the vocals play into it. This, perhaps, is the song that best describes this record overall in terms of the combination between guitar playing and vocals. The two components really come well together in this song. They really complement each other. It's almost like a wrestling tag team. They just tag off of each other. They just feed off of each other to create a very cool, dynamic song. I also love the chorus. Obviously, another song that has an extremely hooky chorus with Slaves of the Southern Cross being repeated multiple times in the chorus, and every time it's repeated with a choir, like there's backtracks to it. So what they did was in this chorus, not only the chorus is hooky by nature because you're repeating the title of the song, on that alone it makes the song hooky in the chorus. But that's not just it. That's not all they did. They added backtrack vocals, they added additional layers of vocals to the chorus, to that specific line, making it sound almost like a choir, giving it volume, and that was really cool. It really gave a very pungent, if you will, a very strong atmosphere to that chorus of the song, and overall it bleeds out to the rest of the track. I absolutely love what they did with the chorus on this song. I love what they did with the guitars and vocals. It's my favorite song all around. I just love this track. It's just so good. Anyways, guys, this is it. This is Legion of the Damned, Slaves of the Shadow Realm, out January 4th on Napalm Records. I want to hear your thoughts on the band, the record, favorite tracks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.